Hey everybody, my name is Emily Zeck with The Ball Out, and today we have a very special interview with rapper Young Pinch. Young,
Yes, sir.
what's up? How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful. Well, I watched a few interviews that you've done in the past, and I saw that on one interview you did with Chris Papp on Short Story, you kind of described that you were always into making music and you thought of being a rapper by the time you were in high school. Did you have a certain style that you were going for your original music?
I mean, back in the day, it was like I was like way more of like a rapper, like actually rapping and stuff, because that's what like was kind of in at the time. And like all my older friends that I was like hanging out with, recording with, like trying to make happy. You know what I mean? They were all doing that. So whenever I would like rap, that's when I would get the most like good feedback from them. But the whole time, I really wanted to be like singing and like doing what I'm doing now, like with auto tune and stuff.
Yeah, the song that got me hooked on your music was Weak Emoji. I overplayed that song until it drove me nuts. I love that song.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that song's a super vibe. Perfect for the summer too.
Oh, it's so good. Did you have any influences in your early career that still influence you, or have they kind of changed, like artists that you look up to for inspiration?
Um, I always looked up to Nipsey Hussle for real, just like as like an independent artist, just the way that like he ran his business and the way that he like carried himself. Like I always looked up to that. I still do to this day, rest in peace. But that was probably like one of the first artists that really like structured my thing off of, like I want to be independent like him, like I want to run it like him. But like music wise, I would say like I don't take inspiration from his music like the way like I don't like rap like him or like spit bars like him anymore, but I used to when I was younger, for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that influence. I think that's a great person to look up to, even though he's not around anymore. But
yeah, 100%.
his character especially is top notch. I love that. So your album, Back to the Beach, what was like the genesis behind it, and what was like the main inspiration? I read a lot about it, and then I listened to it, and I just want to hear your take on what was going on.
That was my debut album. I signed to Columbia, and that was supposed to be like my big album, the whole thing. And then like halfway through the process, like Columbia kind of just like was not fucking with it, like many reasons. Like I find out later that it was because like I signed for too much. They didn't make their money back and stuff, and they didn't want to like pay me to turn my album in. So they were trying to like stall it out, say like, oh, don't drop it because you don't have enough followers, don't drop it because you don't get enough likes or this, that, and other thing. And I'm like what? This is like, I never worried about likes or followers or anything, but I never had enough effect on my music before, like for me releasing music. Like music is the reason that I do have followers and people do like my shit. Like I'm not like some Instagram
No.
kid. Like my music is the reason that people fuck with me. It was kind of a weird, like, it was a weird time for me, and I was just working super hard and just trying to make like the best music I could. And then like they weren't fucking with it, so I was trying to make stuff to make them happy. And then I was just like lost at the point. I was just like, all right, like I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Like I believe in this music, I love it. Like got all these features on here. They said I couldn't get any features and this, everything they told me I couldn't do, I did it. And then it still wasn't enough for the project, so I was like, all right, I have my lawyers like figure out what was really going on. And then after like a year of making the project and we finally got to the point where we figured out that like they just didn't want to let me release it because they had to pay me money to turn it in. Once it got to that point, I was like, bro, like don't pay me any money to turn the project in. Let me release the project, and like so y'all could make your original money back. Like I need to like put music out. I don't care about just like how much money y'all have to pay me. It took like a month for them to work up the courage to like talk to to the main dude at Columbia, which was Ron Perry at the time, and like bringing the situation up to him and just let him know what had happened. And like luckily he was like super cool about it and was like, oh yeah, let him out of the deal with the music and he could release it. And that was that kind of, and it was like a blessing. So I finally got the green light to release the project independently at this point. So then I had to go back and like renegotiate all the deals with all the producers and everyone that was on it. And then I hit Black Bear and I was like, yo, you want to distribute this for me or whatever? Because he's day one homie, and like we were planning on already releasing it through Foundation. He has his He has his little label through Foundation as well, so it's kind of a no-brainer. And he was like, yeah, I'll be more than happy. He's on one of the singles for the project. We just did like a little one-off release, and I'm glad it worked out that way, honestly, opposed to like have released it with Columbia and still be in that deal and like not be an independent artist. It was like everyone told me like, don't sign for this reason, don't sign for this reason. They always tell you, you know what I mean, like all the reasons you shouldn't sign, stay independent. But like as a 20-year-old kid, like with a fat ass check in front of you and like the fear of like, what if I don't, like, oh, look at all these other artists that are signed, like they're so big, like da 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 da. And then like, yeah, I had to try it, but luckily it only lasted like a year and a couple months, so I was able to get out of it and like be back doing my things where I could release music whenever and like do what I want. And I have like these like other opinions, like just like trying to fuck up my positive energy and what I got going on.
I feel that. The music industry is so heavily focused on social media numbers.
I don't even know what it's fully focused on. It's definitely focused on numbers, but like I don't even know if people really care that much. People just be in there just doing what works for other people. Be like, oh yeah, do that. It's like, are y'all really even like focused on like the exact person, or are you just focused on what works for other people and you just like hoping that it works?
Right. Well, I mean,
that's cool.
It sounds like you took the focus back to your music, which is,
yeah,
you wouldn't be doing any of this if you didn't have a passion to make music anyways.
And that was the sad part, was like it was getting to the point where like I wasn't passionate about it. I was like, it felt like a job. I was getting depressed. I was letting them get to my head. Like the whole situation was just like not it for sure. So yeah, I'm definitely hyped to be independent again and like back to like focused on what I want, what makes me happy, and what keeps me going as an artist. That's why I'm excited for this new project that's coming up. It's called Wash the Shore, and basically it's just like a bunch of songs that I've recorded throughout this year that just kind of like really speak to the different places that I've been at, and just like I feel like is more true to myself and Young Pinch than like the Back to the Beach project was. But I mean, that was still me. I love that project, and like that's where I was at the time, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a lot of the inspiration or a lot of like who I was making it for, it wasn't necessarily me or the fans. It was like to please, you know, label execs or people to let me release the project.
Right.
That's not the way to make music, you know what I mean? That's not the way to do it. So
to have that
I'm excited for this new project.
Like huge, and to be able to look back and reflect on that, and then know that you can have the same amount of success and more doing what you love for people that listen to the music that you make because you love it, is way more fulfilling than any check. Yeah,
worrying about the people that fuck with you instead of the people that don't fuck with you is a way better way to go. And what else did they say? They say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I think that's extremely true.
100%. It might be a saying that's quite overused, but it's 100% true.
It's cliche, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. In that sense, how was 2020 for you?
Man, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Like for real. Like at the beginning, like I was heartbroken because I had the Back to the Beach tour. It was selling great. I was like about to go out on another tour. I just released the album, fresh off a year of not doing that much. You know what I mean? Like the year before, I went on tour with like Black Bear and like just little small things that like keep me occupied and busy. Just to like, or Lost at Sea tour. I went on a tour because I was panicked because it had been like 4 or 5 months and like the label wasn't letting me release anything, and I was supposed to come back from Europe with G-Eazy and do my own tour and like all this shit. So I went on I gotta do something. I gotta show the people that I'm doing something. So I went on a tour in the winter time, and it was the worst decision ever. But 2020 has been great because like at the beginning I was super bummed about, you know, not going on to the Back to the Beach tour and just like being on lockdown, and like I don't know, I was on lockdown for my birthday, so I couldn't go on my little birthday trip that I wanted to go. Family couldn't pull up. I went back to the beach basically, you know what I mean, like in a pretty funny way, because like it forced me to be normal again, you know what I mean. It forced me to just be a regular person, figure out like what Blake wants to do like in the days when I don't have like all this Young Pinch stuff to do. Like what do I want to do with my free time? Like hanging out with family a bunch more. Like I started surfing and skating again. I finally settled down, stopped being so crazy. I got a girlfriend. Just like refocused a lot of my energy on like my personal health and my personal well-being, like my mindset. I started reading books again. Just a lot of shit that I had lost in translation, you know what I mean, with like becoming like Young Pinch and like being like quote unquote famous or whatever the fuck. But no, it's been cool. I'm definitely ready to go back to tour and like go back to being busy again though, because like the devil's advocate to that is like not having shit to do, not having many like responsibilities. I don't have a regular job. Like I make music and record, but I don't want to record in my living room or or like my spot in LA no more. I'm just been stuck in the house. Like all the other studios, like COVID this, COVID that, or it's hella expensive to record. So I just been not recording as much. But I got another spot in HB, and I'm building the studio upstairs in the loft right now. It's up there. So it'll be the first time that I've been recording in HB actually since high school, when I was recording with my friends in their backyard and shit. So I'm excited for some new vibes. Hopefully some magic will be made here. It's like, and it's just dope here, so like I'll be able to record and won't be over it.
I mean, you're right. You're in Huntington. You're in paradise. So
yeah, kind of.
It gave you it's your own paradise. It gives you a good chance to kind of step back and realign your priorities, and that'll show through your music. And everybody who is a fan of you and listens to you is probably going to be, inspired in their own way to do the same, which is huge. That's huge.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's not easy. You got to fight through a lot of people and a lot of different things to truly do what you want to do and follow your shit. But I think I did that for this project, and I've been doing that this year. So I'm grateful for this year for that reason, for sure.
Awesome. I love that answer. Is there anything from this year that is going to shoot you into 2021, or what are your big 2021 plans?
This project will shoot me right. It's like a late Christmas present, so basically right at 2021 is when this project, I haven't announced the exact release date, but it's like pretty obvious. It's coming up quick. I think that will definitely shoot me into the new year, and just the vibes of just like that I've kind of reached in the past like 2 months, I guess, or a month, I would say. Finishing this project and just being inspired, releasing this music, finally getting it out, getting the whole project out will definitely inspire me to get back into the studio and just work even harder and just like focus on the next thing. Fingers crossed, hopefully like towards the end of this year, next year, that we can start touring again and doing shows, because I missed that. But if not, then I'm still keeping my foot on the gas, fully independent. So I'll be releasing music all 2021 and all types of shit.
Amazing. I love to hear that. I am super excited for you and everything that you've put out so far, and to see you, unfold in the public eye and as an artist for yourself is going to be telling your story in a really cool light, with all the shit that 2020 threw at everyone, and how you handled it and made the best of it, and kind of said F you to everyone who wanted to hold you back is a really cool thing, and I'm super stoked for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that pretty much wraps up all of my questions. I really appreciate you hopping on here and giving me the time and kind of letting me know more of your story. I feel like I know you a little better, not just, young Pinch artist, young Pinch. I know Blake, and that's really cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Nice to meet you.
You too. See ya.
Have a good one. Yo, this is the Beach Boy Young Pinch. Make sure you guys go follow the ball out on all social media platforms.